Hey everybody, it's K Good here, and today we're going to talk about car rental business and how we get started.
My name is Marty, and I'm going to be giving Corey a little bit of game on the rental car business since I've been in it for 9 years.
Sounds good. Stay tuned and check out what we do. Show me what you got.
All right, so Corey, I'm going to ask you a few questions, just try to get your head going on the rental car business. So what made you want to get into the rental car game?
What got me started in rental car business is the fact that I was already running a used car dealership, and I came across a few problems to where I had my money tied up too often. So I had customers that didn't qualify for the financing or other challenges that I came across. I picked up cars for people that told me they wanted specific cars, but then when I bought the cars, they didn't come through on the deal. So there was multiple challenges when it came to me being a car dealer. And I happened to be on Instagram one day, and I just happened to see something come down my timeline that was talking about Turo and rental cars and things like that.
Okay.
So as I saw that as an opportunity, I realized, okay, I already run a dealership, so I know how to buy cars and acquire cars. Why don't I try renting out cars, which seems like it'll make more money on a consistent basis. Okay. So it allows me to have those cars booking out daily, weekly, monthly, and that allows me to be able to get ahead, and I don't have to tie up so much money in a chunk like when I buy cars to sell in the dealership.
Okay.
So doing that allows me a lot more flexibility, allows me to buy more cars and be able to actually sustain my business. And the best part about it as well is that I can also take those cars once I'm done using them in my rental car fleet, and I can actually use my dealership and sell the cars. So that's mainly the reasons why I started.
Why you wanted to get it. So, yeah, that's great. That sounds great. So how big is your fleet?
I had 10 cars. I'm currently at 13 cars. So I added 3 more recently. And the best part about the 3 that I just added is that they're economy cars. And economy cars you can usually buy cash because they're usually inexpensive. And the advantage of having a car that's inexpensive and reliable is that you're able to make more money on your rentals because you're not paying as much overhead. So the cars are already owned versus me leasing them or financing the car. I already own the cars. So each month as the revenues come in, that goes directly back to the cars that I purchased. So say you buy a car for $4,000,
okay,
you're able to take that car, rent it out for $250 to $300 per week. And then once that car rents each week, that can add up to $1,200 to $1,000 per month. 4 months, you have that car paid off. So that's different tips that I did with.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So give me your insight on electric cars, because California eventually 10 years from now, everybody's gonna have to go electric. So what are you gonna do with your fleet then when you have to go fully electric?
Well, the good part, Marty, is I'm actually ahead of that. So I actually have 5 electric cars now.
Okay.
So I have 2 Teslas and I have 3 Chevy Bolts. So I'm actually one that likes electric cars. Some of the customers are apprehensive in using electric cars,
okay,
but that's why I have a mixed fleet, because then I don't have to worry about the ones that don't want to drive those cars.
Exactly.
The best part about having electric cars is it costs less to fill up because your charge is usually about $28 to $30 per vehicle. There's convenience of different locations where you can charge it around the city.
Yeah.
San Diego has quite a few locations and they're adding more and more. So I like to know what's going on and be ahead of the curve, so that way when it comes time for us to be fully implemented, I'm not one that has to backtrack and figure out how to get implemented with electric cars.
Okay.
So that's what I've been working on to make sure that I'm ahead of the game now, so that way I don't have to get ready later. That's one of the best things you can do. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Okay, that's a good, yeah, that's awesome, man. So let me ask you another question. So what are the challenges you face of having your own rental car business, and how do you overcome?
Okay, well, there's quite a few challenges.
I know there's definitely a bunch.
Damn sure didn't let me talk, so let me talk now.
The main thing is anytime you're a company that's ran by yourself, you have no one else to fall back on if your company's not producing.
Okay.
So I have to do it. I have to get my cars rented out. I have to figure out different strategies to keep people happy and in my cars and wanting to recommend me to other people. Reason being is, if I don't do that, guess what? I still have car notes, I still have insurance, I still have oil changes, maintenance, tires. Any of those things can come up at any moment. So I need my vehicles to stay on the road.
Okay.
So the way I do that is always being personable, always being on time, providing delivery to my customers, taking, different bookings if somebody else canceled on them and I have an opportunity to put them in one of my cars. I try to make sure that I'm always ahead of the things that could come up, and that allows me to be able to be flexible. And the best part about being able to work for yourself is that you do have that flexibility of deciding how you want to run your business versus when you work for a major corporation, you have to do things the way that they want.
Nice.
So that's pretty much the ways that I like to tackle challenges and try to stay ahead of the things that can happen when it comes to the rental car business.
Okay. And you did mention maintenance. So
yes.
How do you go about maintaining your car?
I'm lucky now at the location where I'm at, I actually have a mechanic on site.
Okay.
So he's literally in the parking lot that we use as our overflow parking lot. So he fixes any small maintenance stuff that I have as far as maybe like tire blown out, oil changes. He could do like headlight busted, roof repair, everything. Yeah, he can do all the stuff. And then I also have someone that if I need them to get really detailed, they actually do the engine repairs. They could change out, carburetors, head gaskets, all of the big things that may come up. So the best way to be ahead of that is having a really solid team of mechanics. And that's one of the challenges that you face when you start a rental car business. I would recommend as soon as you think about starting one, start scouting the local auto repair shops in your neighborhood and find out who really knows how to work on the cars that you have in your fleet, especially if you have electric cars. Electric cars, most of the time you're gonna have to take them to the dealership because there aren't too many auto repair shops now that are working on electric cars, but soon there will be more auto repair shops that transition to working on electric cars.
How do you handle the customers? Say they have a complaint, say something's wrong with the car. How do you go by making sure that the customer is satisfied and you build your rapport with that customer?
There's many different ways that I can tackle that. So it just depends what the situation is. So say customer decides they don't like the car for whatever reason it is. If I have another vehicle available,
okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the other vehicle. If there's not another vehicle available, I will try to educate them on whatever it is that they're finding challenging. So like oftentimes people with electric cars, they don't understand how to charge the vehicles. They don't know where to charge the vehicles. So I give them those key points and I show them the apps that they can use like EVgo and Electrify America, which put them at the right places to be able to fast charge the vehicles and get back on the road. Okay. Now, if customers don't tell you the problems, you don't know how to fix the problems. But that happens sometimes too, to where a customer will keep the vehicle the whole time, not tell you they have an issue with the car, but then when I get it back, now all of a sudden there's a problem. It sucks.
True.
Okay. So usually when that happens, I tell them, hey, we provided these different steps for you to be able to accommodate the issues that may have came up. We've also provided you contact information to be able to reach out to us if something happens. Just try to reassure them that we weren't ready to handle any of your problems. If you don't tell us the problem, we can't do anything about the problem. But we always try to make sure they have a great experience, even if they, didn't have as great of an experience with the vehicle this time. I make sure that I, accommodate them the next time going forward, just, offer them a discount, things like that. Just make sure that they're happy and satisfied or that they feel heard. Because they're not always going to be satisfied, but sometimes customers just want to be heard, sure, even if they're not right.
Definitely know so. And then guess what? They'll keep on coming back to you.
Exactly.
That's usually what happens. You give them good service, keep on coming.
Exactly. And the thing with that too is that no rental car company is going to be perfect. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be longer waits. There's going to be different things that cause the customer to not be as happy as they could be. But the best things you can do is try to get ahead of those issues and try to, make them feel comfortable. So offering water when they come in, checking on them while they're waiting in line, making sure they have their reservation information ready to go, their ID, their insurance cards. So one thing that is great to do when it comes to customer service is that you make sure that you reset the clock in a person's head. So this is something I learned a long time ago, to where if someone has to wait a long time for any type of service or product or anything like that and they're waiting in line, it's good to have someone that actually goes into that line and talks to the customers. Because guess what? When you're talking to them and you're breaking down their barriers, they're forgetting about the amount of time that they've already spent waiting to be able to get whatever product or service you're offering. In this case, it's a rental car. People know that the rental car line is going to be pretty long.
Yes.
So
of course,
if you give them that opportunity to forget about the time that they're waiting, you're more than likely to have a happy customer and less problems, less stress.
say that your fleet's big, you have a lot of people coming to you. Are you gonna start some membership program to where it saves people money or give them an upgrade on a vehicle? Like, how would you go about starting that?
So when it comes to membership, I have looked into a few options with that. And the reason why that may be beneficial to a company as you grow is because oftentimes people like to feel like they're included in something. They like to feel like they're exclusive and they get extra benefits and bonuses.
Yeah.
The part where it benefits you as a rental car company is that most of the time the customers won't take advantage of it. So they may have 3 rentals per month, but then you may see some of these customers only once a month, sometimes not even once a month. It's just like when people sign up for 24-hour fitness. They don't always go to the gym. People have the intentions of going to the gym. They like the fact that they know they can go to the gym, but they don't always go. So having a membership would be beneficial once you have a decent, sufficient sized fleet, because customers are gonna forget that they have the membership. But now when they do come to you, providing that excellent customer service, they're not going to be upset that they just had 4 rentals that they could have used and didn't use.
Damage of the vehicles. Yes. So get into an accident. How are you going to go about making sure that the customer has insurance or they take the coverage that you offer?
So insurance is one of my favorite topics. So when it comes to making sure my vehicles are insured and covered whenever they go out for a rental, I always get the customer's insurance. Even if they choose to take my insurance, I still get their coverage premiums, make sure that they have it. Now, if it's an international customer, oftentimes their insurance won't be valid here, so we don't have the opportunity to do that. But that's why I make sure that you either take the coverage that we provide for you, which is the collision, liability, and those different coverages that you can offer. If a customer takes your insurance, you already know how you're gonna handle it because you have your insurance company, you understand what it's gonna be. But when you have their insurance and you have to go through their companies filing a claim, the biggest way to make sure that their insurance policy is valid is actually calling the policy company before they leave.
Okay.
Oftentimes people don't think of that, and they think because someone hands them an insurance card that the card is good. But what happens if the customer let the policy lapse? What happens if the customer just didn't pay? You know, different things like that happen, and your vehicle won't be covered if you don't know that the policy is valid. So what I usually try to do is I'll call the insurance company and I'll say, hey, you know, I'm loaning a customer a vehicle and I wanted to find out what type of coverage they have if they're driving someone else's vehicle. And then usually they'll tell you, oh, we cover 20,000, we cover 25,000, 30,000, whatever it is. Now, the thing that you want to make sure is that that coverage is enough to be able to cover the full value of your vehicle. Because if it's not, and your vehicle gets totaled out, then you're still responsible for the difference. So perfect example, if your vehicle is a $25,000 vehicle and the person's coverage is only $15,000, you're out of pocket $10,000.
It sounds like, yeah. And the loss of use of the vehicle.
Yeah, there's a lot of other factors. The things that you have to do is once you get that initial claim in, having that value covered is the first primary nugget of it. Now, you got to fight for loss of use. You have to fight for diminished value, those types of things if your car is not totaled. So after you get your first allotment, when they give you that first check, that's when you go back to them and you tell them like, hey, I lost this amount of days renting my vehicle. Mm-hmm. I lost this amount of value on my car because now it's salvaged or it has some other type of damage to the title or because the repairs were $10,000 or whatever or more. That's where you're able to negotiate. So you just want to make sure that you get them to accept the responsibility, prove that they were at fault, all of those things first, and then you could come back and work your way up as far as the rest of the money. But that's why it's imperative that you go ahead and check to make sure that the customer has full coverage insurance and that they can cover driving your vehicle.
Nice. Okay, man, you just hit.
Punch, get punch, punch.
Did everything, and there you go. Boy, I like to hear that's great, man. So, yeah. I still got one more thing to ask you. So you do live in Southern San Diego, California. So what if a customer would love to take your car to Mexico? Are you gonna allow that? Or is there a different type of coverage that you will offer them so if something does happen to the car, what are you gonna do?
I don't offer Mexico driving as of now. And if a customer tries to not tell you and just go ahead and take a trip out of the country, this is why you want to make sure you have GPSs on your vehicle.
Okay.
Because if you have GPS tracking devices, you will know where your vehicle's at all times. You don't always have to check, But if it just seems off or a customer is kind of, iffy and you're not sure, you can always log into your GPS system and see exactly where your vehicle is at any time. I recommend having 2 GPSs on the vehicle. So I have one in case someone tries to cut it, and that one's a little bit easier to find. I have a second one which has a starter cutoff. So if a customer is driving my vehicle and they're doing something they're not supposed to, I can cut off the starter, which makes it to where the car will not drive. So that allows me to go obtain the car. I will be able to charge the customer for damages if there are any. I'll charge the customer for repoing the vehicle, plus any daily fees that they incur. So when it comes to protecting yourself against people that do not do the things that they are supposed to or try to go places that they're not allowed, you want to make sure that you have these safety measures and precautions already set up.
Okay.
With Mexico, I'm working on finding out if there's a way for me to keep my vehicles covered and possibly, offer services to go to Mexico or from Mexico to me. Stay tuned because there may be some coverage coming soon, but as of right now, I don't have a solution.
That's pretty good, man. I like it. So, also with staffing, how are you going along with staffing? Are you gonna add more people as your business grow, or how are you gonna go about that?
So, rule of thumb that I'm learning as far as a rental car owner, as you're starting out, once you hit about 20 vehicles, that's about the time that you need to add another employee.
Okay.
So every 20 vehicles, you need to have at least one full-time employee because that will allow you to have the coverage, have the people be there when it comes time for a customer to come pick up the vehicles, be able to pick up, drop off, wash the cars, drop, to oil changes, different things like that. So that's my rule of thumb. Currently, I'm at 13 and I'm working towards the 20 pretty soon. So I may be in the market to add another employee pretty soon. As of right now, I do most of the work myself. And then I'm also lucky to be able to be in the vicinity of a couple other people that are in the industry. So they're able to help me out as well and, look after my cars. So that would be my recommendation.
No, that sounds cool, man. See, so hopefully I can join the team pretty soon.
Yeah, we're working on expanding, constantly growing. I like to educate people as I come across knowledge and teach things so that other people don't have to bump their heads and find out the hard way when it comes to running a rental car business or a dealership. Anything that you're interested in, and if I have knowledge, I'm glad to be able to assist, help you guys out, and just help you not experience the things that I did. Like, comment, subscribe, hit us up. I'm at DK Good. This is Marty.
Marty Marvelous.
Yes, let's do it. Next time you guys see us, we'll have more tips and more tricks for you, and stay tuned for all of our videos.
Awesome.
Hey everyone, K Good here. Today I'm going to break down my rental contract and show you what I do anytime I have a private rental. So here you see the name of my company at the top of the contract. Again, in the middle, you see the name of the company, and usually the address is right below that. But for privacy issues, I blocked that out. Phone number is listed right below that, so customers know exactly where to contact you and have all of your information. Second page is where we get into the meat and potatoes, and we have the customer's information. So here, you want to put the customer's name, address, city, the state and the zip code. You also want to get their driver's license number, the state of the driver's license. You want to get the expiration date of the driver's license, their date of birth, and their phone number. On the right side, you could put in the unit number. You could put in the date and time that the vehicle is being sent out. You want to put the date and time when the vehicle comes back. You also want to put the due in. So once the vehicle is received, you'll put in the date and the time that the vehicle was received. You have a slot for the vehicle VIN number, the license plate number, the state that the vehicle is registered in. You also have the year, make, model, and color that you will want to include as well. Also, below that section, there is something that says miles allowed. So you could determine how much mileage that you want the person to drive when they have your vehicle. So it could be 200 miles per day, 150 miles per day, maybe even unlimited. So here you can mark the amount of miles that the vehicle is supposed to be driven while it is on the booking. Mileage out. So this is actually what's on the odometer when you check the vehicle out to the customer. So you want to write this mileage in here. And then also when it's returned, you want to put the mileage that it was returned at in the mileage in field. Miles driven. So between the mileage out and the mileage in, you would just subtract from mileage in what the mileage out was, and that will determine how much miles driven. And if you have overage charges, there's a section here for chargeable miles. So that means that if you're going to charge them additional costs, you could put in how much miles were outside of what was covered. On the other side over here on your left, you will notice there's a section for authorized additional drivers. You want to make sure that if they're going to have someone else drive the vehicle, this information is filled out. So you want the driver's name, their driver's license number, additional driver's name if there's a third driver. You want to get the birth date, the state, the expiration of their license. Same thing for the third person if there is one, birth date, state, expiration. Also, I recommend getting that person's insurance as well. There isn't a specific section here for it, but there is additional notes down further in the contract where you can write in this information. Also, get the customer's insurance policy information. So you want the company that's insuring the customer. You also want to get the policy number. You want to get the expiration date. If you know the agent, you could put the agent there as well. Telephone number to the insurance company. You also want to find out the insured vehicle. So whatever type of vehicle they have, you want to get the year, make, model, and color. Fill all that information in there. You also want to get the insurance company's license number and the state that the insurance company is registered in. Below that, on the right-hand side here, you have a fuel table that shows you what the fuel level was when the vehicle went out. So if it was at full, you'll mark full. If it's anything below full, you have boxes for each, all the way down to empty. I recommend sending your vehicles out at full or no less than 3/4 of a tank or electric charge. When the vehicle returns back to you, you want to mark this information down here again, because in case you need to charge them, you have that information so you could charge per gallon or, whatever the electrical cost is for the charging fee. Below that, here on the left-hand side, you want to include your disclosures. So each state has different things that they require and that needs to be told to customers that are renting vehicles. I'm in California, so this is the disclosures for California. Below that, you'll want to receive their email address, because I usually send them an electronic copy of the contract. And if they want to be able to have it printed out, you could print the contract as well. But get the email address here. On the right-hand side here, you see rates and charges. Here you could charge by hour. You could put how much per hour. You could put how many days, the weeks that they'll be renting out, how much per week, the miles, how much you charge per mile. You could do total time and mileage charges if you have specific things you need to put in there. You have additional fees section. You have the tax. So you can put your tax percentage, non-taxable if they're refueling the vehicle and it doesn't cost any tax. You can also put the deposit and refund information here. So depending upon how much you charge them, $250, $500, depending upon what type of vehicle that they're booking, you could put that information there. Then you have your subtotal costs. Below that, you'll have your total charge, method of payment. So if they're taking American Express, MasterCard, Visa, cash, I don't recommend cash, but some people do cash. You could put all of that information here. And then also you have a section that says refunded. So if you took a deposit or there was any other charges that are going to be returned back to the customer, put that dollar amount here. And then there's a section for them to put their initials. So in case you need to refer back to this contract, those initials show that they validated, they received the funds back. And then below that, you will see a section for them to sign. So having them sign this contract in California is valid. California makes sure that as long as you have signatures on your contracts, you are covered, and that's for anything that could come up. And then the second page here, this is your vehicle report. So if your vehicle has any type of damage, dings, dents, anything that the customer needs to be aware of, you want to write this information here. So you have different sections that you can, mark an X next to, do a check mark, any of those types of things. So you could do headlights, front bumper, hood, windshield, roof, windows, trunk, any of those things. And then the best part is having the diagram here, because if you have this diagram filled out showing what dings and dents or damage is on the vehicle, you have the customer initial down below the picture that they agree, so that when they bring the vehicle back to you and you do your condition in report, you will be able to mark any damage that is updated to the vehicle here. And if there is new damage, you get the customer's initials again here on this side. This is the additional comments section that I was telling you guys about, where you can fill in anything else that you need to fill in, add notes to the customer, put in the additional driver's information, anything you want to use this box for, you can put in the information there. And then lastly, you have your terms and condition. So each state has different terms and condition that you must abide by. I recommend consulting other rental car companies and also an attorney that is familiar with the car rental industry to be able to make sure that you have all of your terms and conditions covered the proper way. And in California, these are my terms and conditions that I have listed on mine. So just so you can see a few points that are being hit on, all the different things that the customer is responsible for, and that this contract says that they agree to. All right, guys, so that pretty much sums it up. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and I appreciate you checking out my videos. 5 tips for increasing your rental car business. Having a strong online presence is a great way to enhance your rental car business by having a Google business page, Yelp ads, Facebook marketing, any of those types of things. Even Instagram is all great ways to provide yourself with a better presence to allow customers to be able to find your business. Because if they can't find you, they can't rent from you, especially if you're experiencing slow periods, if you're someone that primarily uses Turo, or even if you're a private rental car company and there may be peaks and valleys in your rental times. So if you have online ads running, or even just free listings being posted, if you post on your Instagram consistently, you post on your Google business profile and things like that, that will help your SEO, which is your search engine optimization. So that is what allows people to find you and be able to see your business whenever they search for rental cars in your area. Offering competitive rates and discounts is another great way to capture new market, especially if you know it's summertime, there's graduations coming up, any other events that you could think of in the town. Like for my city, we have Comic-Con. So if you offer a special discount now that it's Comic-Con, there may be more people that are likely to book from you as well. So offering great competitive pricing and applying discounts in some situations may be other ways that you can enhance and increase your business to capture more of the market that you're not already taking advantage of. Diversify your vehicle fleet. Having multiple types of vehicles that people can book will allow more customers to search out your business. So if you have vans for rent, you have SUVs for rent, you have electric vehicles for rent, all kinds of different cars, compact, full size, mid-size, luxury, all of those different categories attract different demographics of people that would be wanting to rent vehicles that now that'll allow you to have more exposure and capture those clients. So if you have a couple of each one of these categories, you're going to be able to attract multiple types of customers, which will keep your business thriving and keep your cars out on the road. The more likely they are to rent from you, the more likely you are to see your profits increase. So having that diversification is key to increasing your business. Focus on customer service. Sometimes customers may, have issues or different situations that they're not sure how to resolve. The better you become at being a problem solver for your customers, the more customers you will keep, the more customers you will gain, the more referrals that you will see coming in as well. So figure out different ways to solve your customers' problems. If a customer can't figure out how to get from the airport, provide delivery or a shuttle service. If your customer needs a baby car seat or a booster seat, provide booster seats and car seats. Those are all solutions that can help your customers rent your vehicles, because sometimes a customer have the intention of renting your vehicle, but if there's a challenge that complicates the process for them, now they may not rent that vehicle. So the less challenges and the more customer service friendly, receptive, have water available for your customers. It is one of the best ways to be able to capture customer business. When customers come in, they're coming off of flights, they dealt with a lot of stress, they've had cancellations from other reservations that they may have booked with rental car companies, and now they're coming to you. So you want to provide water and just make sure that they're happy when they come in your office, because they are more likely to relax, not be as stressed out, and have a better experience caring about their needs. And providing something as simple as a water bottle, customers greatly appreciate it. Another key part of having great customer service to be able to appease your customers is conversation. The better you are at conversation and breaking down barriers and talking to people about the trips they may be having coming up or other different things that are going on in life and, just getting to know your customers, that helps you reset the clock in their head. So even if the customers have been waiting for a while to be able to book a rental car, now that you're engaging them and you're talking to them and allowing them to either vent or talk about subjects that are not so serious and takes the stress off of their mind, it will allow your customers to, 1, relax, 2, be a lot more happy, 3, start thinking about the trip that they have going on now. So now they can get into trip mode versus all of the different challenges that they may have faced along the point to get to where they are now with you. So make sure your customer service is on point. Find different ways you could be unique from any other rental car company because that will keep your customers coming back. Form collaborations and partnerships with other companies. This is a very big component that you can use for increasing your car rental business. So oftentimes there are other rental car companies that you could partner up with. There are other hosts that you could partner up with if you're doing Turo. There are other people that may not even be in the same industry. They may be restaurants. They may be hotels. They could be all kinds of different businesses. But the more partnerships and collaborations that you have, that's more exposure for other people that you may even been able to reach or have found a way to contact, but you met the right person that you partnered up with or collaborated that allowed you to reach that next customer. And you never know who that person is. They may refer 10 more people to you. So the more formation of partnerships and collaborations that you find in different areas, the better it'll be for your business. Keeping business cards on you at all times is a great way to capture those people that are interested in what business you operate. Sometimes they may not need anything from you at that point in time, but because you had a business cards, those people may partner up with you at a later date and time. I have an example where I had an associate of mine, one of his buddies, contacting me. Originally, he was contacting me to figure out about renting vehicles and possibly adding a vehicle to my fleet. And I explained all the ins and outs, told him all the different positives and some of the challenges that may come along with renting cars and, hosting with someone else. So during this discussion, we talked about multiple things as far as how much it would be for the splits, as far as what he would make, what I would make, also insurance costs, how maintenance works, all of those other things you could think of. But the best part about doing this, he was like,
okay, thank you. I'm thinking about a little bit longer.
Cool, no problem. I continue business. Potential, collaboration or partnership is built. Doesn't have to happen today, tomorrow, or the next day. But guess what? 2 months later, he calls me up on the phone and he's like,
hey, you know what? I just paid my vehicle off. I'm interested in starting that collaboration or that partnership with you now that my vehicle's paid off. Can we discuss it again?
Yes. So we went ahead and had a conversation, discussed the different things that we went over before, touched on some new points that he had concerns with. And guess what? Now the vehicle has been added to my fleet. And now that's another vehicle that is able to rent out. And it all happened because of partnership and me collaborating with someone else. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this video and how these 5 tips can increase your rental car business. Stay tuned. Check out my page to see more videos if you're interested in this material. I have a video on how to start a rental car business.
Don't buy cars for too much money. That's the easiest way to fail when it comes to running a rental car business. This car behind me is the perfect example of getting a good deal. I bought this car for $19,000. This is a Nissan Altima 2020, and the car retails for about $24,000. The reason why I was able to buy this for such a good price is because I built relationships with other people that rent cars, tow yards, and other dealerships. Having those types of relationships and being friendly with those people and checking in and texting and calling, they're oftentimes going to provide you with deals that you may not get anywhere else. Going through a traditional dealer, you will never catch a deal like this. This vehicle, they're going to probably want to charge you $25,000, $26,000 having it on their lot. So this is one of the best ways that you could take advantage of being able to find vehicles is by building those relationships. I bought this from a tow yard. Who would have expected that a tow yard had a vehicle this new in this greater shape? But, deals like that happen, and especially having those relationships, I'm able to get this type of deal from that tow yard versus them selling it to somebody else. He was able to look out for me. So I'm gonna show you guys the car and let you see exactly what type of condition this is in because it's a really great car. You'll be very surprised to see that this actually came from a tow yard. Stay tuned, I'm gonna show you some more about the car.
So as you guys can see, look at the interior of the car. Super clean. Nice seats, just needs a nice little detailing. Door panels are great, intact. Body of the car is great. Some of the great things about this car is that it comes with the comfort and convenience package. It has the push button start. It has remote keyless unlock, Bluetooth capabilities, multiple USB ports, all of those things. And I was able to get it for a steal. That's amazing. So oftentimes people don't realize that you have taxes, maintenance costs, and other expenses that are related to rental cars. So this is why it is important that you get the rental cars at the best prices. So when you catch deals like this Nissan, $19,000 and the vehicle's worth around $23,000 to $24,000, it allows me to profit by renting the car out. And when I get done renting the car out, I'm able to sell the car, which benefits me again. So who knows? Depending upon the mileage, I may sell it for the same price that I bought it, or maybe even more, and still have already made a profit. So this is why I suggest that you actively look for deals, find the best places to buy rental cars for your fleet, whether that's tow yards, other dealerships, other rental car companies, friends, family, anybody that has vehicles for sale that are quality vehicles. Don't overlook it, because that's a great way for you to get ahead when it comes to your rental car business and figure out how to sustain. K Good here, signing out. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any further questions, I'll be around. I'm always here to help people. And just know, look for the deals. That's the way that you'll stay in business and you'll stay profitable. The better deals you find, the more likely you are to be profitable. Finding financing for your Turo fleet and your rental cars can be a challenge. But today I wanted to tell you guys about CarPutty, which is one of the companies that allows you to get a line of credit either in your personal or your business name. As you can see on the website, you apply online and get approved in minutes. It won't affect your credit score to get pre-qualified. You can refinance existing vehicles, purchase new vehicles, or buy out your leases. You also would want to have a 680 or higher credit score to apply for them. CarPutty offers rates as low as 6.86% for new purchases, used purchases, refinances, and lease buyouts. Another benefit of using CarPutty is that they do not report to the credit bureaus. So if you're worried about your DTI being too high, they will not reflect on the bureaus. The only time that they will show up on the bureaus is if you default on your loans. When applying for financing with CarPutty, they do a soft pull on your Experian, and then once you accept the approval, they will do a hard pull on your Experian credit report. CarPutty offers financing as a line of credit. The benefit of having a line of credit is that you can reuse those funds whenever you pay off the balance that's on your loans. So if you have multiple loans on the financing plan with them, once you pay off one and there's open balance, you can reuse that balance again to apply for another loan. CarPutty isn't available in all 50 states, but if you look down here at the bottom of the CarPutty website, you will see the areas that they're currently lending in, and they are lending in 32 areas currently. So check to see if your area is included, and if not, they're currently looking to expand out and add into more territories and states. CarPutty could be a great resource for growing your Turo fleet, so I'd recommend giving them a look the next time you're looking for financing when you're looking to expand your business. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Catch me on the next video. Turo ends partnership with CarSync, and here's what you need to know. As of April 30th, 2023, CarSync will no longer have access to Turo's platform. And how does that affect hosts, you ask? Well, hosts usually use CarSync to be able to access Turo's data to better figure out their business strategy and be able to operate successfully. There is something called a Turo Demand Index, which CarSync allowed hosts to be able to figure out what vehicles would be the most successful to rent in their market, and also to show you what vehicles are not performing as well, so you can operate your business as well as you need. Now, you're also able to see all bookings that would be listed in your Turo account through CarSync, so you have an easy area to be able to display your information. You will also able to contact customers with automated text messages. So CarSync had quite a few features that supplemented the operations of Turo. Now, going forward, we do not know exactly how the operation is going to go, because Turo said that they are going to be implementing their own features into their application. So host, tell me what you think. Like, Comment, subscribe. Tell me, are you frustrated? What's your ideas with how these changes are being made to where Turo is no longer going to give you access to CarSync? See you guys in the next one. Will Uber crash Turo in the car rental space? Let's find out. Uber's going to be entering into the car sharing and car rental business. They currently bought out a car company that rents vehicles called Car Next Door from Australia. They're seeking to branch out into the United States, and they're now calling it Uber Car Share. And the first two locations that they're looking at opening is in Toronto and Boston. Well, this is going to be interesting to see how Turo handles Uber entering into the car rental space when they're already a mega player in transportation. They currently have over 90 million people on their Uber ride sharing app and their Uber Eats. Turo is only at 14 million people using their platform now, which is about 450,000 hosts hosting cars on their platform. So just imagine if a tiny fraction of Uber's share of the people they already have using their platform decides to gravitate towards their new car sharing app, they're going to have a good share of the market, and Turo's going to have heavy competition right away. I can see this going one of two ways. Uber comes in and incentivizes a lot of hosts to go ahead and get on the board and join their platform quickly, or Turo hurry up and makes changes and finds ways to enhance their platform, reduce their fees, and make their hosts even happier to be able to compete with Uber. So this is going to be a very exciting time and telling time as to what is going to happen with these two platforms and how fast Uber decides to grow in this space. We don't know for sure if Turo's the target of Uber, but there's also other ones like Get Around, Hire Car, and other ones that you may think of, Zip Cars, and different ones that are already in the rental space that Uber could be focusing themselves on, because they're going to offer hourly rentals, daily rentals, weekly rentals, however you want to set it up. And they're going to give you the flexibility of deciding the pricing and the rate of what you want to charge your customers. In addition to that, there also is going to be ways that you can include the fuel, which is different than what Turo does currently. So I'm excited to see what type of changes may come with Uber and see if they're going to be the ultimate platform, because they're already ahead of the market when it comes to transportation, and they want to be the number one when it comes to having all transportation needs met. They currently offer ways to do flights. They currently offer ways to do bus rides, all kinds of other different transportation needs that you may have. Uber has that built in. So now with the car sharing and rental car business, this could put a lot of pressure on other players in this industry, and I'm curious to see what happens. So let me know what you guys think. What do you expect to happen with Uber? How fast do you expect them to grow? Wonder how they're going to do in Toronto and Boston. Some of the questions that other hosts on Turo currently may have to decide what way they may go when Uber does enter into the market may be how they'll handle claims, how their calendar works, how they'll be able to tell you data as far as what vehicles are the best in the market, especially with the fact that Turo eliminated CarSync, which was one of the host's best tools that they used on the Turo platform. Also, how will they handle fees as far as cleaning, damage claims, any of those other type of fees that you may charge now. We'll find out whether Uber has a great solution and if they're able to jumpstart things and get your rental car business going. For those of you that don't know what Turo is, it is a peer-to-peer app. So what that means for you is that vehicles from someone that owns a car, maybe it's an extra car, it could be a personal car, it could be cars that you bought to rent. Those vehicles you can rent out directly to some other person that needs a vehicle for hours at a time, days at a time, or weekly. So that allows you flexibility to deal directly with someone else, and you don't have to deal with a traditional rental car company. You don't have to wait in those long lines. It's just a lot more flexibility and more interesting. So if you ever have time, check out the Turo app and also check out Uber for the ride sharing. So that way you can kind of familiarize yourself with what these two platforms currently offer, and you can see what's coming out in the future. Uber currently partners with two of the top 3 companies in the rental car industry. They currently have a partnership with Hertz and Avis to use their Uber Rents app. So that allows people to rent from the traditional rental car companies while using their Uber account. So it gives a lot of flexibility. And just imagine now that they're expanding into the car sharing business, they're going to have the peer-to-peer side covered as well. So Uber is trying to become the all-in-one transportation solution for their customers. So you're able to do everything with a click of a button and make your bookings, reservations, pickups, and drop-offs a lot more easy and less challenging for you. Exciting times ahead. If you've ever used Uber's ride-sharing app, you know that they're based on simplicity, making it easy for you to book vehicles to be able to get picked up to and from your destinations. So just imagine what they'll do when it comes to the car sharing industry and making it even simpler for you to rent cars and to be able to have your cars rented out. And the best part too is there will be no time limit set as far as how soon someone can book a car in advance. Each car booking could be at 15-minute increments and things like that. So there's a lot of flexibility that's supposed to be coming with this actual platform. Uber is working on becoming an emissions-free company by the year 2040. As you can see in their Uber ride-sharing app, that there are a lot of green vehicles currently. So with the car sharing app coming out as well, you know that their emphasis is going to be on reducing emissions even more and becoming the all-in-one transportation company and being the best when it comes to emissions. If you are a current Turo host or a private rental car company, how do you feel that Uber is going to affect your business going forward now that they're entering into the car rental space? I can see a lot of improvement happening with the platforms that we're currently on. Also, just having more options to be able to get your cars rented out. What if they come in and they make it to where you don't have to be exclusively on one platform? That would be a game changer, because some companies won't allow you to host on more than one platform. So being able to have that flexibility to host on different platforms also will give you a lot more, credibility. So we'll see what happens with this. I'm very curious. I'm interested to check it out. And I will do more reviews when the official launch date happens and once it comes to a city like mine. So stay tuned, keep in touch, like, comment, subscribe, check out all of the videos that I have coming up and the previous ones. I have some good information when it comes to how to start a car rental business. Also, how to maintain your business, how to handle slow seasons, and any other challenges you could come across. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to check out my videos, leave me a comment. Also, you can email me if you want to find out more information. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bells. K Good here. Have a great rest of your day. Six tips for renting cars with the least amount of hassle. Book in advance. Booking your car rental in advance can help you avoid long queues and disappointment when you arrive at the rental desk. It also gives you time to compare prices and options and possibly find a better deal. Know what you need. Consider what type of car you need for your trip, including the number of passengers, the luggage space, and where you'll be traveling to. This can help you choose the right vehicle for your needs and avoid unnecessary cost. Check for hidden fees. Make sure you read the rental agreement carefully before signing and ask about any hidden fees or charges that may apply. This includes fees for additional drivers, late returns, and fuel charges. Inspect the car. This is very important. Before you drive away, inspect the car for any damage and make sure the rental car company notes it on the rental agreement. Take photos or videos of the car to document its condition. Understand the insurance options. Car rental companies typically offer several insurance options, including collision damage waiver, personal accident insurance, and theft protection. Understand what each policy covers and decide which one is best for you. Return the car on time. Returning the car on time can help you avoid late fees and other penalties. Make sure you know the rental car company's policy for returning the vehicle and plan accordingly. If you need to extend your rental, contact the rental company as soon as possible to avoid any issues. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about these tips. Just discovered that my Range Rover was stolen. Working on trying to find out where the car is at. Let me see how I want to do this. So I had a guest that previously rented from me 4 separate occasions and always brought my vehicles back in perfect condition. So I trusted that when I gave him my Range Rover that the same thing would happen. It turned into a nightmare. Over the time, the customer was perfect for the first 3 weeks that he had my vehicle, but once he started to have it longer than the 3 weeks, I noticed that things weren't going the same way. Customer was requesting that I extend his rental, which, that's normal. He'll ask for an extension here and there. He asked for a 1-week extension. I agreed. Went ahead and extended it for him. He's like, hey, I'll pay you next week. Okay, great customer, always took care of his debts. Everything was fine, so I didn't think nothing of it. Let him have the extension without actually, collecting the funds. That's mistake number 1. Number 2, I also rented the vehicle without having trackers installed because I was going off the fact that I had a good customer and I thought, okay, the guy's always been great with me in past experience. He'll be perfectly fine with this vehicle. Once he brings it back in the week that he was renting the vehicle, I'll be okay and I'll be able to put a tracker on the vehicle. Didn't happen that way. As you guys can see, 2 months later, I finally was dealing with the situation because the customer kept leading me on, kept making excuses. Eventually, he changed from himself paying the actual rental to the company that he works for was gonna be paying me the funds. So now he's telling me, hey, send over the rental agreement. The company's wanting to look and see how much is owed. They're gonna cover the costs, all of these different things. So as I keep seeing that it's kind of a delay, stall tactic that's being used, I'm noticing that I'm having this issue with collecting my money. Finally gets to a point where I'm like, okay, he said the job was paying me for 2 weeks in a row now and that they were gonna pay me ACH. ACH takes 24 to 48 hours for a company to pay a bank account. Even if there's a hiccup or anything like that, it won't take more than maybe 3-4 days. So I'm starting to get more and more concerned that my vehicle's not coming back to me. I'm not receiving the money that I'm owed and things like that. So now once we get to that point, I had to take other measures to make sure that my vehicle was gonna return and that I possibly would be able to retrieve the funds that are owed to me as well. So now I went ahead and I drafted up a demand letter, had a lawyer go ahead and write that up for me, make sure that I had all the points that were on there as far as what the vehicle was, the amount the customer owed me, the period of time that the customer had it, and when the vehicle was supposed to be back. After that, I also went down to talk with the police department in regards to filing a report. So when it comes to doing rental cars, it's a little bit different process than if you're doing a stolen vehicle because you have to go through the embezzlement department. So they have a different process. I physically had to send the demand letter to the customer's location, address on file, and allow that to be received or denied before I was able to go ahead and file this embezzlement report. So now that I've done all of that, the customer was still ducking and dodging. I provided him this information that I was doing this because, like I said, he was a previously good customer and I thought that he was still going to be a good customer and that, maybe something just happened. Well, he still was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring it back this weekend. Now that the vehicle's being reported stolen and these different things, I'm not gonna drive it, I'm gonna have it towed to you. Again, another stall tactic. Another good thing that you always want to do with your customers is make sure that you build a rapport and learn things about your customers when you're going through the rental car process. So in this particular situation, it helped me out a lot that I sat there and talked with the customer when he was renting from me the first time, because I learned there was a certain restaurant that he liked to go to, multiple cigar lounges and different places that he might like to go. So that helped me in retrieving my vehicle, because it just so happened that the restaurant that he told me about, I had people scouting out to see if my vehicle was gonna pop up at that restaurant, and guess what? So as you guys can see, I was lucky to get my vehicle back in one piece. My Range Rover made it back intact, and I'm excited to get it back out on the road and just continue to conduct business, because you never know what can happen. And now the only thing I'm working on now is just figuring out how to get the repercussions for the money that's owed which now that's going to be a challenge. So I'm working on seeing how collections could benefit, if there's a way to, put it on the credit reports, different ways that I can potentially get the customer to resolve the issue with me and hopefully, not have to deal with this going forward. So multiple lessons to learn when it comes to renting vehicles. Make sure you always protect your assets. So in this situation, I didn't do that the right way that I normally do. I should have put my trackers. I should have made sure that I had all the information I could possible on the customer, and I should have made sure that everything was just, intact. So the money should have been taken care of as well. So I shouldn't have done that to where I gave him grace. 1 or 2 days is okay occasionally, but allowing a customer, a week, 2 weeks, multiple weeks to pile up, do not do that. Especially if you are a small business owner like myself, it's very harmful for your business. But guess what? Things happen for a reason. It's all figured out. Vehicle came back in great shape, which I'm very surprised, and I'm happy that I didn't have to file any insurance claims or anything else like that. So I wanted to share this story with you guys today so that you can protect your assets and also have awareness when it comes to the rental car business of the things that can happen and just having better practices. So the better you are with your business, the more successful you'll be and the less stress that you'll have to face. Thank you guys for watching my video today. I hope you learned from my mistakes and that you don't have these happen to you in the future. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Look forward to seeing you on my next video. Have you ever thought about owning your dream car? What is your dream car? Is it a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Mercedes, a Porsche, a McLaren? Well, all of these cars can be achieved, but let me tell you the steps as to how you can accomplish this. So when it comes to trying to finance an exotic car and getting the car of your dreams, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're in position credit-wise. So with your credit, you're gonna wanna have a 720 credit score or better. The reason why you wanna have a 720 credit score or better when it comes to applying for an auto loan for an exotic vehicle is because that lets these banks know that you are a person that can handle your finances and has excellent history. Second thing you want to do, you want to have previously paid off auto loans in your credit. Usually they'll let you graduate from a $20,000 loan to a $40,000 loan, from a $40,000 loan to a $60,000 loan, from a $60,000 loan to a $80,000, and then from $80,000 loan usually is when you can hit 100K. Once you hit the 100K of paid off loans, this is usually when the banks will allow you to purchase your dream car, which usually costs anywhere from 100K to 300,000. So showing that you're able to pay off those previous auto loans gives them that financial stability to know that you're a person that is great with your finances and can pay for that next vehicle that you're requesting. You want to make sure that you make payments on those vehicles for at least 6 to 9 months before paying the vehicle off or trading the vehicle in. Doing this process will allow the banks to trust you more and see your great payment history on your credit. Now, once you accomplish both of these things, you have the 720 credit score, and now you have 100 grand worth of loans paid off already. You will want to make sure that your credit profile has no discrepancies. So you want to make sure your address is current, phone numbers are current, low to no inquiries on your credit profile, and everything that you can position yourself in the best way possible for that bank to approve you for this loan that you're asking for. Think about it. If you were a bank, what would you want to see from a customer to be able to approve them for a $100,000 loan or more? You're going to want to see they're a great person, that they do well with their finance. All of these things trigger those underwriters to say yes or no to your loan. So once you've accomplished those previous steps that I explained to you, now you'll want to make sure that your income shows a good amount to be able to cover the cost of that vehicle. When it comes to being able to buy that exotic vehicle of your dreams, you want to make sure that your DTI is no more than 30%. So that means your debt to income ratio. So the banks are going to want to make sure that you don't have too high of debt if they are going to be giving you a loan of that size. In addition to those things, you'll want to make sure that your address that's on file with the credit bureau is an address that you have lived at for at least 2 years. The longer, the better. Banks like to see that you're a person that's grounded and that they know where to find you and that you have great history. So what other way to prove that by having an address that's been on your profile for 8 to 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, longevity. That's the way to accomplish what you want to accomplish in this situation. Also, if you are self-employed, Do not put self-employed on the applications if you can help it. You want to make sure that you put that you are employed by the company. Put yourself on payroll with your company. This gives you the credibility to have pay stubs. Now, when the bank asks you for documentation, they see pay stubs. That looks way more legitimate to a bank versus self-employed and then having to go tax returns or look at bank statements to do all of that. You'll save yourself the headache and the hassle of having to show more paperwork if you are on payroll. Because payroll, the checks are just black and white. They can see exactly what you are getting paid. There has been some times where people have been able to accomplish the same goal without having to do payroll and just state self-employed. But a lot of banks are more strenuous when they see the word self-employed. So this strategy that I just presented to you works well even if you are just buying a vehicle for personal use, or if you want to use this vehicle for business, maybe if you have a rental car company, or just for advertisement and marketing purposes for any other business. Having this in place and doing these steps will allow you to accomplish your goals. I had someone ask me, how can they make money by buying this exotic vehicle that's a dream car that they may want? Well, simple answer to that is, I'm in the rental car business. Having a Lamborghini, a McLaren, a Porsche, Mercedes, high-end vehicles that people sought after, dream to drive, but may not have the funds to purchase, you can use that in your rental fleet. So when you do so, the payment that you may be paying on this vehicle may be approximately $2,500 a month. Now, look at it this way. If a vehicle of this caliber is a dream car to someone, how much would you be willing to pay per day to be able to rent this vehicle? $800, $1,200, $1,400, $1,600, maybe even $2,500. People will pay you daily rates to be able to drive this vehicle. So say even if we go on the safe side and we go $800 per day to be able to rent your Lamborghini or your McLaren or your Ferrari. In 4 days, that's $3,200 that you made, which covers your whole car payment. So even if you don't rent the car out for the rest of the month, if you just rent it for 4 days, you now have paid your car payment. So think of that next time you want to know why you should buy a dream car or an exotic car. Like, comment, subscribe, catch me on the next video. Check out some of my videos up here. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy. Here's some tips how to qualify for Bank of America's business auto loans and get up to $100K in funding with up to 4 auto loans. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. I'm just providing you information in regards to what I did and how I was successful with obtaining the business auto loans from Bank of America. So if you have questions, I'm willing to answer, but just know, everybody's situation is different. So when it comes to applying for the business auto loans through Bank of America, there are a few things that you should know when you're going through this process. One, you would want to make sure that you have a 700 credit score on your Experian credit report or better. The reason why is because Bank of America wants to make sure that you are a person that can handle your finances and is on top of your business. Number two, you want to have an annual household income of up to $120,000. You could get approved with less, you could get approved with more, but $120,000 of income is about the sweet spot where you can qualify for up to 4 loans. Also, in the case of applying for these loans, you want to make sure that you have an LLC or a sole prop or a corporation established. If you apply for these business auto loans through Bank of America, the best part about it is that you can get 4 auto loans with 1 inquiry. As long as all of the applications are processed in the same day, they will only pull your credit 1 time, and that's a pull from Experian. Most places, they're going to run your credit each time they do a pull, especially when you're getting cars. Don't go to dealerships and finance because they're going to pull your credit multiple times. This is one of the best things you could do here because then you don't have to worry about, is the inquiry going to stay on your credit? How can you remove it? All of those things. You're only going to get 1. And it doesn't even have to be established for 2 years. And Bank of America will possibly approve you. Another cool thing that Bank of America allows you to do as well is you can also refinance vehicles that you have in your personal name. So I know a lot of people have difficulty taking their personal debt and moving it to the business. Well, the great thing about Bank of America is they will allow you to do that. So what you would do when you're applying for the Bank of America business auto loans is there's an option that says refinancing. If you click on that option, it'll ask you what is the VIN number of your car, the make, the model, mileage, all of that good stuff, and how much money you owe on that vehicle. So in doing this, if you're approved, what will happen is Bank of America will directly pay off the other finance bank, and now that debt will be completely removed from your personal credit and will only show on your business credit. That's the best part about having these Bank of America business auto loans, is that it does not reflect on your personal credit unless you default. You will be personally guaranteeing these loans, so that does mean that it will be backed by your personal credit. But as long as you keep the loan in good standing, it will not show up on your personal credit. Remember that. The interest rates on these business auto loans are from anywhere from 5.64% on up based on your credit, so it does vary, but the 5.64% interest is one of the lowest in the market right now, especially with the interest rate increasing from the federal government. So this is one of those things that you would definitely want to take advantage of if you're someone that's looking for an auto loan at a good price. Many people hide this play from people so that they can get you to sign up for their courses and their programs, but I don't even like calling this a play, because in business, you don't want to be playing around. You want opportunities. That's the hardest thing to come by when it comes to business. So here I wanted to give you this information so you can get the opportunity to set your business up. Whether you're operating a marketing company, consulting company, any other businesses where you'll need a business vehicle for business purposes, this loan will qualify for you. And especially if you're starting a rental car company, this is a great way to be able to get your first 4 vehicles. A lot of people have difficulty securing financing for multiple vehicles. Check it out and you'll find out this is a good way for you to accomplish that. When going through the application process and filling all the information in, they'll ask you for your personal information, your name, your address, phone number, social security, all of those good things, and what you do for work, and then they'll ask you for your income. And then your income, this is where you can combine your whole household income. So if you make $60,000 and your wife makes $40,000, that's $100,000. If you make $60,000, they're projected to make more with your business that year. If your business is going to make an additional $50,000 for you, $60,000, you can put in projected numbers. This is a no doc to low doc auto loan qualification. Most cases, you will not have to provide any documentation. In some cases, they may ask for your business tax returns. So when I did my applying for the business auto loans, I processed 4 auto loans and did not have to show any documentation. Now, in some cases, they may ask you for those tax returns. Just make sure you have those on hand and that the income that you're putting matches what you're projecting to make for this year. Or if you've had an increase in the last couple of years, as long as your income is close to what you're saying your income is for this year currently, then you should be okay as well. Another great fact about these business auto loans is you can also do this for multiple businesses. So if you have 2 LLCs, 2 corporations, 2 sole props, whatever it is, you can actually get business funding for each business up to $100,000. I found this out because I applied with my first business for 4 auto loans. Was approved for those auto loans, purchased the vehicles I needed for my rental car business, and after that, I went ahead and was like, let me just check it out and see if I could get approved for additional auto loans for a separate business, knowing that I have over 700 credit, and I applied for my other business. And guess what? That business was also approved for an additional 4 auto loans up to $100,000. So just so you know, as long as you have good credit, you have enough income to cover the loans, you may be able to be approved for more than just the 4 if you have more than one business. One of the great things that Bank of America also did more recently to change the way that they approve these loans as to what companies can do the financing is originally they only allowed you to go through franchise dealerships and approved Bank of America dealerships. There was Carvana, there was CarMax, and then there were all of the big brands like the Nissan, the BMW, Ford, Toyota, all of those big guys. But guess what? Now going forward, they approve independent dealers as long as they have a Better Business Bureau score. So as long as they have a rating on the Better Business Bureau, you can also go through independent dealers. So in case there's not a big dealership near you, or if you're someone that's cost conscious and wants to get the best deal possible, you can go through an independent dealer. Look into that when you apply for these loans. Call in, speak to the underwriters, ask them the questions, and they could tell you more details if you have anything further that you would like to know. If you guys would like to know anything from me, you can also DM me. You could comment on my posts, like, subscribe, run this up, because anybody that's watching these videos, guess what? There's other people that want this information too. Check out all the other videos on my channel that you haven't already seen. There's quite a bit of information that I'm giving away for free, charging nothing. I have my Mastering the Rental Car Agreement video. I have a video about how to achieve your dream car. There's so many different tips that I'm giving out on this channel. Check them all out. Give me feedback, comment, DM me, email me, whatever it is that you need. I'm available and I'm here to help you guys.